Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, guys.
This is Bev.
And this is Diz.
And this is...
Trigger warning.
Yay.
Woo woo. Welcome back, guys.
All right, so we're on our 7th episode already.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like it just started. Okay. So this time, like I promised last time, we're having some spooky stuff going on.
Ooh.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the 50 states in the US of A and talk about spooky stuff from each one.
I love that.
Yeah, so we're starting with Alabama because...
Spoopy Alabama.
The alphabet...
Yes.
tells me to.
And the song.
And, yeah, the alphabet
and the state song.
Yeah, that everybody learns, and anybody not in the U.S. that's listening, look it up.
Yeah, just Google it or whatever.
We learn this as children because it's alphabetical and it lists all the states.
But it does help.
Yeah, it does actually. So, because when I first started this, I was like, okay, what's this first state in the state song?
So you immediately started thinking state song.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Alaska, Arizona,
Arkansas,
okay.
California,
Anyway.
Colorado, Connecticut.
Do.
Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana.
All right.
Okay.
So there are going to be the trigger warnings, gruesome deaths. There's a child death mentioned very briefly.
Oh.
And spooky shit. So there we
go. Woo woo, spooky.
So we're going to start out in Prattville, Alabama.
Sounds great.
At the Bear Creek Swamp.
Oh, lovely.
The swamp stretches out on both sides of Highway 14. And people have reported lights and orbs hovering over the swamp.
Swamp gas.
There are multiple reports of cars that speed down the road and then disappear suddenly.
Ooh.
Like, they'll speed at you, and then, like, they're gone. Or they'll speed by you, and you look up, and they're not there. You don't see taillights anymore.
Creepy.
People who will go there to visit will talk about they'll get out of their car or whatever, and, like, it's spooky or whatever, and they go to get back in their car, and their car won't start.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have been locked out of their cars, and one story I read said that they were locked out of their car and they had the keys. They had actually taken the keys and laid them on top of the car when they got out so they wouldn't lose them in the grass and in the dark and everything. So they had the key. They couldn't open the door. And that one in particular, there was like a specific story that went along with it for that one, but other people just say that they were locked out and their keys just wouldn't work at first.
Weird.
There are sightings of apparitions of indigenous people.
Oh.
Or some people just hear the sound of drums.
That would be so creepy.
Yeah. And we're talking like pitch black.
Yeah.
One of the things I read was they said that this road is basically like a gravel road that you turn down. And the swamps on both sides. So it is pitch dark, black. Completely dark.
Wow.
And then some people have talked about seeing a quote-unquote creature.
Oh, great.
That's what everybody refers to it as. That's about 4 feet tall. Other people have mentioned sightings of Bigfoot, which obviously is not a 4-foot tall creature, so I guess they're maybe... Remember that movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it's Bigfoot and his twin. And then also sightings of a chupacabra. Which I love the idea of that. And I guess that could be, those are usually pretty short. Maybe that's the 4-foot tall creature.
That could definitely probably be that.
So the main legend in this is that the spirit of a woman is roaming the swamp searching for her child.
Oh.
And the local folklore says that the woman's child either drowned in the swamp or was kidnapped by indigenous people of the region.
Oh my.
If you stand at the edge of the swamp and repeat 3 times, "I have your baby," the woman will attack you.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
So that one that I was talking about where they couldn't get they laid their keys on top of the car.
Yeah.
Supposedly they got out of their car. They laid the keys up there. They went to the edge of the swamp. They said, "We have your baby, bitch," 3 times. And they started hearing noises, sudden wind, and they got spooked, so they like start heading back to the car. They couldn't get the
Into
car
the
to
car.
unlock,
Yeah.
and one of them yelled because his ankle was cut, and like something scratched him or cut him open or something, and it was bleeding. Um,
Ew.
and so like all of his friends were like, "Oh my God, he's bleeding!" Like they could see him bleeding profusely.
Yeah.
So finally, they were able to get back in the car and get it started and start getting out of there, and he looks down and his ankle's completely fine. There's no blood, there's no scratch, there's nothing.
What?
But they all saw it bleeding outside the car. So people have said that after saying the "I have your baby" thing, that they'll hear a woman laughing
Ew.
or feel a sudden rush of
Ugh.
air or wind, like I said.
That would be so creepy. I can't.
So yeah, most of the sightings they talk about though is like the orbs just floating over the swamp. And honestly, the swamp itself just freaks me out.
Yeah.
Swamps just freak me out.
Yeah.
Because the water has the algae on it a lot of the time, and you can't tell how deep it is.
Yeah, it's like...
It could be 6 inches, it could be 6 feet.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know because you can't see to the bottom of it.
Right.
And then the trees and stuff sticking up in between and all the mossy and it would just freak me out to just go there, period, and be that close to it. I'm like, what if I fell in? Like,
right? Because you could go, even 6 feet is scary.
Yeah. So some people, though, go specifically because of this woman that will attack you if you say, "I have your baby."
No, thanks. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
I'm like, I'm not taunting a ghost woman whose baby was kidnapped or killed.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Nope.
I never did the Bloody Mary thing in the mirror either, so...
Me either.
I'm too much of a chicken, I guess. I don't even believe in paranormal stuff, and I'm still too much of a chicken. Because I know my imagination, and it will haunt me if nothing else does.
You'll just haunt yourself.
Yeah, I'll haunt myself. Okay, so that's the Bear Creek Swamp, supposedly very haunted, and people will go there on purpose and spook themselves. The next location that I found is called the Victoria Inn.
Ooh, that sounds really fancy.
Yeah. It's located in Anniston, Alabama on Quintard Avenue. Or Quintard. I don't know how they pronounce it there. Originally it was built in 1888 by Colonel John McElroy. Or McLeroy, I think. I don't know. Colonel John. He was an attorney and chose the location for the house because the spot was the highest one on the street and provided a view of the mountains in the town. So I guess he was kind of up above everybody else. So, but he also liked the view. So
seeing the mountains, yes, I approve. But I'm like,
So I'm like, okay, I can see like having the best view, but I'm like, do you have to say specifically the highest one on the street?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, just say, I like the elevated view. Anyway, I don't know. He could have been a really nice dude. I have no idea.
We don't know.
He died in 1891, so he was only there, built it in 1888, and he died in 1891, so he was only there for a few years. His widow, remained in the house until it was sold in 1920.
Oh, wow.
And it was sold to William Coleman Wilson.
These names, I tell you.
I know. He died in 1949, and it was purchased by the Kirby family.
Okay.
And the last 2 residents of the house, Frank and Robbie Kirby, lived in the house until the 1980s when they both passed away. So, built in 1888, and they lived there until, like, the last people who owned it as a house lived there until the 1980s. So, a full 100 years of being lived in by different families.
Wow.
In 1984, a property developer from South Carolina bought it and turned it into the Victoria Inn. Multiple times over the years it was foreclosed on. It was eventually donated to Jacksonville State University.
Oh,
it was registered as a historic landmark. It was then purchased by the Anniston City Council from JSU so it could be preserved. And then eventually purchased by Senator Del Marsh and his wife Ginger.
Senator Del.
Yeah. They renamed it Hotel Finial, Finial, and it is still in operation today. It has a main house and a carriage house, and things are all split into like divided into rooms. So
Okay.
like a big, I think of like a bed and breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. The carriage house, I think, is where they said that the bar used to be. Like where they made it into like, it was like a little bit separate from the house, but it was where the bar and stuff was.
Oh, okay.
People report hearing footsteps
Mm.
in empty hallways, sounds of glasses clinking behind the bar.
Oh, wow. Somebody's
Yeah.
working.
Yep.
Pouring his
And
drinks.
sounds coming from the music room, which is cool that they had a music room, and the sight of the piano playing itself.
Oh, man. Can
That's
you
creepy.
imagine?
Because
Can you
I would be like, at
imagine?
first I'd be thinking, is it one of those pianos that plays
Right.
on its own?
Yeah.
It ain't. So,
It
yeah,
ain't.
but it ain't. Like any good haunting, there's a sighting of a woman on the upstairs landing, dressed in black in early 1900s style clothing.
Okay.
So it's mostly the sounds, the footsteps, the bar glasses, and this woman that people see. And they think it's haunted by the ghosts of all the previous owners.
Wow.
The Kirbys, the Wilsons, the original Colonel McLeroy or whatever. It still operates today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been updated and stuff, but it's really pretty. I saw some pictures of it.
Fantastic.
And it's registered as a historic landmark, so I guess that it'll never be torn down.
Yeah, I guess not.
So interesting.
The upkeep will be
Yeah.
taken care of.
Okay, so the next one has some interesting stuff, and this is where a couple of the gruesome deaths come in.
Oh my.
The Sloss Furnaces. Sloss is Sloss. Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
It was an iron furnace that became really successful after the Civil War. They produced pig iron.
What?
Pig iron is a crude iron, it says usually produced in blocks, that's used in the production of steel. It's kind of like an in-betweeny. It's like they make it, they produce it so that it can be used to produce steel.
Other thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
And it's made by smelting iron in a blast furnace. The workers at Sloss dealt with some horrible conditions. They worked 12-hour workdays with very few breaks, or no breaks sometimes. Like a lot of companies from back in the day, they were paid with script, which was basically a currency that could only be spent in the company store. And I've heard of that for a lot for like mining companies and stuff too. Where basically the mining company owned like the whole town. Like you lived in mining housing, you had script, everything that you bought had to come from the mining company's store. You were kind of almost working for free. Because it's like when you got your money, you paid the company store for groceries and whatever, but that was just going back to the mining.
Yeah.
You know? So it was kind of like a form of trade, I guess, but anyway.
That's just weird.
And it was a low form of currency, like a low pay too.
Yeah.
If you averaged it out, it would still have not been nearly enough. Workplace accidents were pretty common because the site itself just was dangerous. There were vats of molten ore that people could fall into. There were steam pipes that could burst suddenly and fatally burn and kill workers.
Oh my gosh.
There was an overnight foreman named James Slag, S-L-A-G, Wormwood, and slag is like a byproduct. I've seen it before at other old furnaces around here. But his nickname was Slag. And
Lovely.
he was in charge of between 100 and 150 men.
Wow, and he was overnight?
And he was overnight.
Wow.
And it said that he forced the men to take shortcuts to speed up production.
Oh, no.
And he refused to give them breaks or days off. It's estimated that 47 workers died under his supervision.
Wow.
Him specifically. Other ones were injured to the point of being unable to work. And I couldn't find more about this, but it said that 6 men were actually left blind by an explosion on the site.
Oh, no.
So they either died or they were injured so badly that they weren't able to work again. And they mentioned the 6 men, but like I said, I couldn't find more information on that.
So what was the time period for this?
This was in, it said it was most successful after the Civil War, so late 1800s.
1800,
yeah.
Okay.
Slag himself was a victim of the hazardous conditions at Sloss furnaces, or possibly a victim of the employees that he abused. Some say that he fell into a vat of molten ore and was incinerated. Again, gruesome death. Some say that his workers got fed up with him and pushed him into the vat of molten ore.
Oh, my.
One thing I read said it was kind of confusing the way it was worded. It either said that Slag himself or one of his employees was killed when their sleeve got caught in a machine and they were pulled into the gears of a machine. So it's like as the thing turned,
Oh my
it's pulled them
gosh.
further and further in and
And
them.
crushed them.
Yeah. I mean, the witnesses said that they, like, with every turn of the gears, the more and more of this person disappeared into the machine.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I can't even
I know.
imagine.
I was like, that just gave me chills reading that. I was like, that's horrible.
Makes you feel kind of sick thinking about it.
So the place is obviously thought to be haunted by the men who died there.
Right.
And the police have actually had a history of being called to the site because of supernatural occurrences. People reporting stuff and, And the police say that they notice an uptick in these calls during September and October, so they think it's mostly Halloween hoaxes.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people swear that they have unusual activity all year round. It doesn't, like, September and October, sure, people probably are going to explore a little bit more.
Right.
So there are more reports being turned in.
Mm-hmm.
But they said all year round there is activity there. The most famous ghost there that's thought to be haunting the site is Slag himself.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be
So
around.
he died in the early 1900s. One of the sources I found said 1906 specifically. After his death, the workers claimed that they felt a, quote, unnatural presence there. Sounds like he was an unnatural presence when he was alive.
True
but anyway.
that.
Some of the workers said they would feel somebody push them from behind when no one was there. And at the same time, they would hear a voice say, "Get back to work."
Ew. Oh my gosh. Can you
Isn't that
imagine?
creepy? Especially if you worked overnight and it was like there are dark corners and warehouses and
Yes.
furnaces, factories and stuff. Can you imagine having somebody push you and then turn around, nobody's there, and they're like, "Get back to work"?
And what if it like actually sounded like him?
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't. Obviously, he wasn't pleasant when he spoke.
Right.
So.
And they were probably like, just the sound of his voice probably gave them anxiety. So.
Like even in death, he's still here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he still won't
Can't
leave
get
me
away
alone.
from him.
In 1947, so this was 40 years after he died, 3 supervisors were found unconscious and locked in a boiler room.
Ew.
And they claimed that they were approached by an angry figure
Yeah.
with horrible burns who beat them and demanded that they push more steel.
I'm speechless right now.
I know. I can't, like, I've seen dream sequences in movies and stuff with people that are burned like that.
Yeah,
and
that's, no.
And it's
horrendous.
Creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they were thinking this is Slag if he was the one that actually fell into the vat.
And so, like, they actually,
burned.
like, felt like somebody was beating them?
Yeah. And they knocked them unconscious and locked them in a boiler room, this spirit or whatever.
Wow.
Because, I mean, if it was a figure with horrible burns, and that demanded push more steel, it's like,
who else
then
would it
obviously it's not an actual human alive that's like, oh, I got burned real bad, I'm gonna go assault these supervisors and tell them to speed up production.
Right. Right.
So in 1971, a night watchman named Samuel Blumenthal claims to have encountered a being that he described as a half man, half demon.
Ew.
He said that the being tried to push him up the stairs, and when he refused, it began to beat him. Witnesses say that when he was examined, he had burns where he had been beaten.
Oh, no.
Wherever it landed a blow, he had a burn. Now, in modern times, of course, people still go to this place. People report hearing footsteps, seeing ghostly apparitions, and feeling cold spots. They say that just arriving there, just being there, they feel overcome with feelings of anguish. And it's no longer producing, it's not a functioning place anymore.
Right.
It is, however, a museum, and it hosts tours, and it has a haunted experience for Halloween every year.
Oh, wow.
So you can go through, like, their haunted setup, like, thing. And then people, of course, like, while they're doing this, are also like, but I heard footsteps and there was nobody there, or I saw this or heard this, and it wasn't part of the haunted experience,
Oh my gosh.
And it's actually, if it sounds familiar to anybody, it's been featured on a couple of the ghost hunting shows.
Okay.
I don't know those because I don't really watch them, but
I do watch, but I don't remember ever hearing about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty famous one that I think a lot of like YouTubers have reviewed and stuff like that
Interesting.
too. And it sounds really freaking creepy.
Yeah, it does.
Especially because the place was already dangerous in real life. Like it was,
Yeah.
workplace accidents. Times were different then. We didn't have OSHA and all the rules and stuff that we have now
Yeah.
to keep workers safe. Or to keep them from having to work overtime or not get days off and stuff
Or
like
just
that.
to give them a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a simple break.
Yeah, and not get to eat lunch during a 12-hour shift and stuff
Think
like
how
that.
hot
It's
it
like,
was.
yeah.
And just
Yeah.
miserable.
It would have been hot and probably kind of sooty or something if the furnaces are going.
Imagine trying to breathe.
Sweaty and yeah. Yeah, and they were breathing in anything that they were smelting, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Smelting.
And then having to deal with a boss that just does not care.
Yeah.
So our next one is called the Drish House.
Drish.
Drish.
Okay.
Drish.
Okay.
It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So, I know, it's a cool name. In the early 1800s, the U.S. military basically butted into a war that was going on between the indigenous tribes and the Creek Confederation.
Yeah.
Because white people.
Mm-hmm.
So after sticking their noses in it, they, led by Andrew Jackson, forced the Creek Nation to surrender 21 million acres of land.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because that's what they did then. They were like, here, you can move over here and we'll take this land. And then they were like, actually move further over there and we'll take this land.
Right.
But anyway, that's another podcast. So the government offered land grants to Americans who were interested in settling in, further south.
Right.
So John R. Drish, a widowed physician, obtained 450 acres of land in Tuscaloosa and built a huge plantation home that he named Monroe Place. People refer to it as the Drish House because that's where he lived.
Mm-hmm.
It was built over 2 years from 1835 to 1837. He was a slave owner, so the mansion was undoubtedly constructed by slave laborers, by enslaved men. Drish married a woman, Sarah, whose first husband had passed away, and she was actually pretty wealthy. The husband left her, like, everything, and she was wealthy. Drish was already pretty wealthy. They lived in the home together until John Drish died in 1867.
Okay.
He was a known drunk, and it's said that while he was drunk or possibly recovering from drinking, so he was shaky, he fell over the railing of a balcony in the front tower of the house and died on impact.
Oh my.
The house, if you look up pictures of it, basically looks like almost kind of like a church because the front has like a 3-story tower.
Oh, okay.
And then the house is like 2 stories
kind of
below it, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's thought that he fell over the balcony and died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be
either
horrible.
Intoxicated or that he was having the shakes and stuff from detoxing
and just fell right
and
over.
lost his balance and fell over. Sarah was devastated. She's now a widow twice over.
Mm-hmm.
John had left pretty specific instructions about his funeral and what he wanted for his funeral. So she basically was so intent on it, she became obsessed with making sure that his funeral was exactly like he wanted it. And it became a really elaborate occasion. After the funeral, she told her family and friends that she wanted her funeral to be exactly the same as her husband's. She even kept the candles that burned at his funeral, insisting that they be used at her own later.
Wow.
Yeah. So in 1884, she passed away, and her family did search for the candles so that they could use them at her funeral like she wanted, but she had either stored them or hidden them away so well, they couldn't find them.
Oh my.
So they had to go ahead and do the funeral without the candles.
Uh-oh.
So now it's said that the Drish house is haunted by Sarah because her spirit is angry that her family failed to fulfill her wishes regarding her funeral.
Wow.
Not long after her death, it's said that a local resident looked toward the home and saw that the front tower was on fire. When responders showed up, though, there were no flames and no sign of a fire. And this was at night, so you see flames, they're going to be more obvious, obviously,
right.
at night.
Yeah.
They arrived, there was no fire. And this has happened repeatedly now.
She found him candles.
Somebody would raise an alarm, they would show up, No flames, no fire.
Wow.
And so, yeah, they think the phantom fires are set by Sarah, reminding the living that her final wishes were not followed.
Oh my gosh.
And the tower where the fire is reported to be seen, of course, is also believed to be the same place where John Drish fell to his death.
Mm.
Visitors to the house now have seen strange lights in the tower, heard footsteps in empty hallways, and have seen apparitions of both John and Sarah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Drish house, I didn't look up to see what it was, if it was still open to the public or if it's owned by somebody privately now or what. But I think that some of the YouTube and ghost shows and stuff like that have gone to it too. The apparitions of them, footsteps in the hallway, kind of the same as a lot of the other places, but the phantom fire is the thing that kind of got me. I was like, she lighting them candles, and then she lighting up the house.
Well, and people are going to see that. It's not, it's different when it's like, oh, I heard footsteps behind me, but like, multiple people are looking there, and there's flames.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It could be.
And it's over the course of all this time that it keeps happening.
Yeah.
That people call, and they're like, there's a fire in the tower of the Drish house, and then they get there, and there's not. So... The next one, and this is my last one. This is a little bit shorter of an episode.
That's okay. That's a lot still that you found.
Well, and so much stuff from back then, you can't even find specific names.
Well, everything's like the in the 1800s anyway. What the heck?
Like the lady in the swamp. There's no specific story saying, oh, this lady named Jane, her child died, and she's said to be, So it's just like a legend. Woman. So it's hard to find anything additional besides just what everybody reports is the same stuff.
Yeah.
And the hauntings are usually the same kind of stuff. Orbs and footsteps and apparitions.
Maybe
and,
voices or...
Yeah. So I tried to find stuff that was a little bit different, like the fire and the we have your baby at the swamp and stuff like that.
Get to work.
So this is another hotel. This is the Redmont Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And it opened in 1925 as a 200-room hotel.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, it's 14 floors. It was advertised as the most modern hotel in Birmingham, due in part to the fact that each room had its own bathroom, which was extremely rare at the time.
Fancy.
Yeah. Now we're just like, that's expected.
Yeah, it's like we're mad if you don't have
if you have a hotel room and it doesn't have its own bathroom, something's wrong. Yeah. But it was rare at the time, so it was considered very modern.
Wow.
They also had a 10-foot chandelier in the front, lobby or whatever.
Chandeliers are so beautiful.
I know. And a 10-foot one. Good Lord.
That's
how
massive.
heavy was that?
Yeah.
In 1937, a lounge opened in the hotel called the Rainbow Room. And the lounge became an informal meeting place and the bar of choice for the Knothole Gang. The Knothole Gang was a group of local influential people that met regularly to discuss, the city.
Influencers,
I'm sure it was some, influencers. It was YouTube influencers back in 1937. But I guess it was probably where deals got made and things got done, you know, off the beaten path. And I tried to look up more on the Knothole Gang because I wanted to find out who some of these influential people were. It's like, okay, are we talking about the mayor? Are we talking about, the governor? Who are we talking about? But the only Knothole Gang thing I could come up with was stuff about baseball. I don't know. I'm not a baseball person, so I don't know anything about the Knothole Gang and baseball. But
I don't either.
I was like, I think this is different.
Yeah.
Maybe they liked baseball, and that's why they called themselves that, but...
That's weird, though.
But I couldn't find anything specific about who the people were that were in it. And I wonder if, the owner of the hotel and stuff was part of it, or if it was just,
it just kind of happened that...
city officials and stuff that kind of showed up. Anyway, in 1945, the Rainbow Room was changed to the Rainbow Coffee Shop, which doesn't sound nearly as cool, by the hotel manager, Lewis Whitten, at the time.
Oh, Lewis.
The hotel was purchased in 1946 by Clifford Stiles of the Stiles Brothers Hotel chain.
Oh.
And in 1947, Stiles had a penthouse built on the top floor, which he planned to live in with his family. During construction, a jail trustee named John W. Booth, I don't think John Wilkes Booth, but it didn't specify, noticed smoke rising from the penthouse site and sounded the alarm. The fire was confined to a storage room and quickly extinguished, so he saved the penthouse, and Mr. Stiles moved in with his family. They lived there until he died. So, on December 30th, 1953, Hank Williams Sr., the country musician,
Get out. Yeah.
29 years old at the time, stayed in the Redmont Hotel for one night, and that was his last night alive. He died the next day on a road trip to Ohio for a concert. Basically, I looked into this because I didn't know that there was some confusion and stuff surrounding his death.
Yeah.
But he stayed there. He was supposed to fly to, I think it was supposed to be Charleston, West Virginia, or something like that. But there was bad weather. He hired a student who was like 17 at the time to drive him, like do a road trip basically to drive him to his next concert date.
Oh, wow.
It's like the concert on the 31st or whatever was canceled because of the weather. And so he was going to have him drive him so that on January 1st, he could go to the next event date or something like that.
Uh-huh.
They did stop at a hotel somewhere else and they got a room, but they left that same night. They didn't end up staying there because apparently Hank Williams had really bad back pain. He was born with spina bifida, and that was part of the reason he used alcohol and drugs a lot. So this hotel stop that they did, he got some drugs from a doctor there, and basically they were just like, go on. He's good to go. So they checked out of the hotel the same night. They were only checked in for like 3 or 4 hours. So,
oh, wow.
So technically the Redmont was the last hotel he stayed in, the last place he slept, except for the car ride.
Yeah.
So he was in the car, and they got into West Virginia somewhere, and the kid that was driving him was, I think his last name was Carr, C-A-R-R, stopped at a burger joint and asked him if he wanted anything, and he said, no, I'm just going to stay here and sleep. So he was laying across the back seat of the car sleeping.
Yeah.
And when he came back out, he was cold and dead. And
how long was he in there?
Yeah, or at the next gas station or something, he checked and he was dead.
Oh,
wow. So they think that he died of a combination of alcohol and drugs that caused a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Because he was 29 years
29.
old. Yeah. But apparently there is doubt about some of it.
Mm-hmm.
They said that the guy who drove him, he passed away, I think, in the early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
And his story stayed consistent, but, like, they mentioned something about, like, a soldier. They picked up a hitchhiking soldier that rode with them for a while, but then there's no confirmation of what happened to the soldier, where he went, when he got out, and, like, different stuff like that. So they said that the autopsy that was done on him was done by a Russian man who could barely speak English, so they don't know for sure that he knew what he was doing. It's like, well, I mean, why was he the coroner if he didn't know what he was doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. So it was an interesting little rabbit hole that I fell down, and then I had to climb out of it.
That's
so
like that song.
I'm like, I might have to look into this Hank Williams thing and make an episode about it.
That's like that song from Alan Jackson, Midnight in Montgomery.
Oh.
He was heading for a big New Year's Eve show.
Oh, that's probably what it was probably based on.
It is Hank Williams Sr., I know.
Yeah. That is what it was based on then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should do an episode about that.
Maybe I should listen to that song again. It's been a long time. Anyway, so the owner of the hotel, Clifford Stiles, died in either 1972 or 1977. I saw both.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had moved in there in 1947. So he lived there with his family for like 30 years.
Wow, yeah.
In the 80s, a group of investors purchased the hotel to renovate it. And this I'm including because it's interesting. It included the retired basketball players Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Ralph Sampson.
What?
Yeah. The basketball players were not directly involved with the project. They were just part of the investment group.
Gotcha.
But after the renovations were done, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stayed at the hotel in the presidential suite. But they had to push a twin bed against the bottom of his bed to accommodate his height.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He was so tall that they had to put another bed at the end of his bed so that his feet wouldn't hang off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The hotel was listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 1983. And this is where the haunting stuff now. I like to tell the history of it because some of that stuff's just really interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, no way.
Yeah, the last place Hank Williams slept, and then, like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tales of hauntings include sightings of the hotel owner, Clifford Stiles, roaming the halls. There are tales of furniture moving around without anybody moving it.
Mm-mm.
People come in and something's been moved, and there was nobody else in there. The lights turning on and off on their own. Visitors have also reported doors opening and closing on their own, and sightings of a woman in white on the 9th and 10th floors. The local folklore says the woman was a previous guest who fell or was pushed from a window and landed on the marquee over the entrance on Fifth Avenue. The most famous ghost, however, is Hank Williams Sr., who supposedly still haunts the room he stayed in on his last night alive.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is my Alabama hauntings.
Wow.
And there were so freaking many, though.
Really?
Oh my gosh. They had, have one, I found a couple lists that are the most haunted place in each county of Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
And there are like 60-something counties.
I guess they do have a lot of Civil War history.
A lot of Civil War history, exactly.
And that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of
They
death.
have a ghost town. Like, I was reading about the ghost town and stuff that, like, was once Indian land and stuff like that, and got flooded after the Civil War, and people just kind of started moving out of it, and it was like the first county seat or the first capital or something, and different. I mean, there was just so much.
Wow.
There was, besides Sloss furnaces, there was a Pike Run furnace or something that was another, like, iron ore place.
Yeah.
And there are some near here. You can see the old furnaces and stuff, and find slag still, like that byproduct or whatever.
Oh, that's neat.
I actually have a chunk of it from one of the hiking routes around here that had old furnaces there. But, so yeah, there was another, like I said, another furnace place. There were multiple hotels.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were built back then.
Yeah.
A lot of houses, like mansions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jails. Yeah. A lot of, like, interesting, cool stuff. Yeah.
You could just do a whole series on Alabama.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you really could. Yeah. There's a YouTube guy that does that. Basically talks about lore and legends and urban legends and hauntings all in Alabama. And that's basically his entire YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, YouTube guy, I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, but shout out. Yeah. So it was really interesting. So yeah, my next one's going to be Alaska. So we'll see what they have. Because they don't have nearly as many counties and nearly as long a history.
Or people in general.
Yeah, or people in general. So, but I'm sure there's some interesting stuff. In a place that's that sparsely populated.
But also you have, like, foresty.
Yeah, forest
You might see some Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Some Sasquatch.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yetis. I don't know.
Yeah, that won't be next time, but it will be sometime.
Yeah.
We'll just throw in some spookiness once in a while.
Well, I'll be doing the next time another disaster.
A disaster?
A disaster.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wait until then with bated breath, I reckon.
Oh, yes, you will.
All right, well, everybody watch out for ghosties. No footsteps. No, don't haunt people. Give people breaks at work. And
watch for deer.
Watch for deer. Bye.
Bye.